And Mark is there with us too. It was really funny. As we were watching the intro, Mark showed up just as like his picture came up on the screen. He's like, "Oh, that's my cue for entrance." I thought that was a good timing, Mark. You were right on it.
What's up, brother?
Hey. So hello, welcome. How's everyone doing on this fine Monday night? It's fine, hotter than hell in here Monday night. My AC is out, and I'm going to complain all night probably. But welcome and enjoy it. I hope everyone's got something to drink. Ain't no bullshit. It's like an upper 80s in this room right now. Upper 90s under this hat.
It's humid. That's the problem for me. It's humid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not if you're in Arizona. It's not. Where are you?
No, I'm still in DC. I'm on the East Coast.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's humid. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I wish I would much rather have 100 degrees dry than 85 and 90 humid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, 100%. If you ever experienced both back to back, we got this guy with us. This Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Hey,
what's up, Daniel?
Hey, Daniel.
What's up?
What's up?
You need to check out what his sport. I'm getting ready to do my fantasy draft, and this is not really a topic for tonight. I'm getting ready to do my fantasy draft on Friday. I'm supposed to go. I have done zero research into anything. I'm really just going to talk shit. It's what I always do, and just like pick a bunch of players at random. Like I came in second place in my league last time, and that's someone who's like, I need a kicker. Okay, this guy. Like obviously not first round or anything like that, but like. Yeah, like I just threw some shit together and worked out really well. Some people might have thought I had a plan. I didn't. But yeah, Mr. Sports Highlights. If you got any good sleepers or any good picks for a fantasy draft coming up, feel free to drop those in the comments because I like winning. Anyway, it is so good to have everyone here on this warm evening. What is everyone drinking tonight? I'm going to go ahead and go first just to get mine out of the way. I've had this on here a few times before. This is the Stellum Bourbon Single Barrel. This is a store pick from a store I won't go back to anymore, but this is a really good pick. I still have to admit that. And I don't ever mind saying that it's Elixir, and when I walk in, they treat me like my money don't spend, so like I don't spend my money there. But this is a really good bottle that for all that. It was a really good bottle. I was really happy that I picked it up. So yeah. That's me. Gino, what you drinking, sir?
Gino, popped the cork on this. This is actually Angel's Envy. This is a single barrel store pick for Ashburn Cookers. Yeah, I mean, the flavor profile on this is, if I wasn't reading the label, I would not guess Angel's Envy. It's drinking totally different than the regular Angel's Envy. It pops in at 110 proof. It's very caramel forward, not to the point of sweetness, but the caramel really, really stands out. And I guess this barrel, is probably up towards the top of the rick house, but that is quite delicious. Now, my local store down here in town, they've also got a pick down there. I'm kind of anxious now to try theirs versus this one to see which one had the better pick, but this is quite delicious.
Okay, excellent. Mark, sir, what do you got? What is it? Uncle Nearest.
Single barrel.
It's a great one. It's a great one to have. This is a staple. Yeah, it's a great.
We all know it.
Yeah, very much at this point. Rob, sir, what you drinking?
So, in my trip to Indiana a few weeks ago, I picked up a few new bottles, and tonight I am drinking some William Dalton. This is their barrel series. It's a 4.5 year aged product. It's 70%. It's very good. I had their bottled and bond last time I was in Indiana. I bought a bottle of that home, and it was really nice. This one is coming in at 110.4. Really nice. It's got a lot of heavier citrus notes, a lot of orange, a lot of vanilla, a little bit of oak. But it drinks. It's not drinking at 110. So I really like it. There's almost 1,000 4 different stores on my last trip to Indiana, and each one had their own version of this barrel series. So they must have let each of the stores either pick a barrel or a couple of barrels. So, but this one's nice. I really do enjoy it. Here I am enjoying it.
Nice.
Cheers, gents.
Cheers. All right. And Chuck, sir, last but not least, what do you got for us?
I got Bardstown Origin Series, the high wheat.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see that very well.
You can't really see that. Usually you have to hold it up close and then give it the camera a second to adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's washing out.
Down it, yeah.
It's washing out because of the white label.
It's all good.
But it's very good. It's around $49.99 at MSRP. I don't get any ethanol on the nose. As soon as you open it, take a nice whiff, and I get Cracker Jacks on it right away. However, if I let it sit for about 10 minutes, then I get a nice citrus note, lemon, and a nice like just a big hit of those vanilla wafers. Those long wafer cookies that have the layers.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Not the round Nilla wafers.
I know exactly.
Like the Pepperidge Farm ones, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
That's right. And I guess they call them sugar wafers.
Yes.
That sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and I get a lot of milk chocolate on the nose, like the. It's a really nice milk chocolate, like the cake frosting that you would get in those plastic tubs, like the Pillsbury plastic tubs with the, it's just a small tub about this high, plastic top on it. But it's really good. I mean, it's very good right now, and the notes just fall back as far as the taste goes. The nose mimics the taste, and it has a nice long finish, which is great. A little spicy at the end. And what I'm hearing is people are comparing it to Weller 107. This is 106 proof. 107, it's they're saying, it's going to be the Weller 107 killer, yada yada yada. And I don't really compare things. I don't like doing that, but
well, I would think to kill that product, they'd have to have a lot of barrels to release to keep up with the production.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it seems Weller is in Ohio in certain areas. The 107 is more available. Like in
Ohio, yes.
Availability of that Bardstown high wheat, I would think, is not going to be as high as available as 107 is around in other areas.
Yeah, the problem with 107 though, it's one of those products that it's Texas, Ohio, and a few other states, and that's it. And then states like Maryland, Delaware. Well, Delaware doesn't get any. They're not allocated any Weller. The Maryland stores get maybe 1 or 2 bottles per month if they're lucky. And that's the problem with that. And I think, what's that?
So that seems awful thin.
Yeah, and that's the whole problem with the 107. And I'm hoping that the Bardstown high wheat will be more spread out. Right now, I understand that distributors in Maryland are allowing more than one case to be purchased in Maryland. One of my locals just purchased 4 more cases after the initial 1 case that they were given. So, and they were, said, sure. The distributor said, yeah, we can do that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. But I would probably say that if I wanted to do a side-by-side, if I had to, I would say Maker's Mark, Weller 107, and Yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to get into the? We have not one topic, but two topics tonight.
Okay.
Roll.
All right. So first topic. This is something that I guess literally occurred to me after this afternoon. After saying, what's the topic? Something occurred to me. I had thought about off and on a little bit on my own because like we're all whiskey people within our friend groups of people who both do and do not collect whiskey and are enthusiasts, what have you. That like you're still known as one of those folks. Like you're the whiskey guy, right? Amongst your friends, typically speaking. Like Mark, I know you are for sure. But like with my group, I'm the guy who knows about alcohol, right? Like whether that compares to in comparison to other folks and what have you. I'm not the ascot guy, but like there's a little bit of reputation involved, right? You're the whiskey guy, so you're gonna buy your friend a housewarming gift. They just they just closed on a house, what have you. You want to come over and celebrate. They're not like they like whiskey, but they're not really like a big whiskey drinker. They're not enthusiasts like we are. You want to bring them something that is gonna like represent well, basically, even if it may sit on a shelf for a very long time and become a conversation piece. Like this is kind of the struggle in my head of going like, what would I get that is something that is it's approachable but a little bit nicer than like your basic bottom shelf kind of stuff, and like also reflects well on you for having brought it, having a little bit of reputation involved. So that was what I was thinking topic of. For me, the answer that I came to would be, and this is just my answer for this question, would be the Woodford Double Oaked, because as far as bourbons go, that it's not it's not like an extremely high dollar bourbon. It's excellent in my view. Like if you don't like that bottle, like you might not just like bourbon. Period. That's kind of how I think about it. And other opinions may vary, but like there's stuff you like more, stuff you like less. But like if you don't like that bottle, you probably don't like bourbon. Like is really how I think about it. So I'm like this would be the one as like a housewarming gift. That's probably what I would go with. So what do you?
Great choice.
Thank you.
So
depends on location. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rob.
no.
Rob, go for it.
Well, I was gonna say that depending on location, in some cases it's good old Buffalo Trace. There's still places that can't get it. Non-bourbon drinkers have heard the name. They've seen the logo. They've seen it at bars, so they don't know what the hell it is, but they see the Buffalo,
Yeah.
with the bar mats. Woodford Double Oak for sure.
Mhm.
I generally don't do Russells for non-bourbon drinker. Most non-bourbon
Like a
drinkers
Russell's
not
10
get Russells, any Russells.
Okay.
Russells has all right, Chuck, help me out. I don't know if I would call it an aftertaste. Something bourbon sippers like, but non-bourbon sippers, I haven't found too many non-bourbon drinkers that if I've given them Russells early on, they tend to not like it. I don't know what it is. It's something in the flavor profile.
Yeah, you're right, and it's a more heartier flavor profile, and I think it's more for the experienced people.
Yeah. I've recommended the Russells. What's the red and white 10-year, right?
Yes.
I haven't purchased one in a while. If I have some at home, I've purchased that one for someone that says they like bourbon a little bit and they're trying to get into it. It's like, okay, if you have some experience, then we'll go with that one. But some of the others, I tell them stay away. As crazy as it sounds, you will always do okay with basil. Oh, excuse me, hazel bait. Let me say it correctly.
Yes.
Hazel Baden.
But like I said, what I'll do is with new folks, I'll always go toast. I will always do toast if I can get toast.
Yeah.
Because
That's a nice
whatever
choice.
I still don't understand how basil at 80 proof makes it drink like it's a bottled and bond. I've not figured that out. They do it. It's an 80 proof, but sometimes it drinks like it's 100 proof. It is the weirdest thing. They're masters at it. I don't know how they pull it off, but they're good at it.
Huh. I haven't had basil in a minute. I have to think about it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Most of us have it. Most of us
Man.
have.
Those are good picks, though. Those are good picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for something sweeter with the basil toast.
And I
Yeah.
always stay low proof. Always stay lower proof.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't want to burn anyone out. It's-
Oh, and last one, real quick. Last
Go
one.
for
I
it.
have given
Yeah.
the SR. Thankfully to my brother Rob and a couple trips to Texas, I think I still have maybe 2 Weller Special Reserves, the SRs. So
well, there you
people
go.
say, "Oh, I got a Weller bottle. Thank you."
Mhm.
Mhm.
I mean, that's also a fair
Yeah.
point. Just have well or anything.
And it's still it's a decent pour,
It's,
no
it's
matter
not
what.
it's not a
Good
bad
pour.
pour.
Special
Yeah.
Reserve is a great pour. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's up to $27.99 a bottle now in Ohio. They're
It's
getting their
still
money for it.
reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so for me, so actually, I just did gift friends who moved into a home about 6 months ago, but they are whiskey drinkers.
Okay. So what'd you get?
I gave them the Heaven Hill 7-year bottled and bond
Oh, nice. Yeah.
for behind the bar. It's
Yeah.
a really great drink.
Mhm.
I really enjoy it. I've got 4 bottles sitting back there somewhere.
Mhm.
Yes, it
So I
is.
always keep that on the shelf. But if it was somebody who's not really into it, but they're looking for the kind of it's a good looking bottle, I'm probably gonna go with your basic Elijah Craig 94 proof small batch.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
It's an easy drink. It's not high proof, but it's not. Yeah, it's not gonna
Yeah.
burn. It's not gonna burn going down, and
Right.
it makes a great cocktail.
It's smooth.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
what they'll
great
say.
cocktail.
That's what they'll say. I have friends even who know a little bit about whiskey and bourbon stuff, and not a lot, but a bit, and they'll still go, "Oh, that's smooth," and I go, "Oh, "Yeah, I'm glad you like it." You know, it's what you got to do. Yeah. All right, okay. You just move right through it. You know. You got to. It's just polite. But anyway, let me see here. You go on, Gino, sir. What would you do? What would you pick
Housewarming.
for a housewarming gift? Someone who from time to time can appreciate whiskey, but they're
Okay,
not
whiskey
really a whiskey
novice.
drinker.
Whiskey novices.
Whiskey
So you're
novice,
gonna-
someone who
yeah,
will like
you're
it,
going to look
probably,
for
but doesn't really know why.
the name is going to matter versus what the actual liquid is. It's the name recognition. And so that Weller Special Reserve, I mean, oh my God, it's a Weller. But
You know,
that is the $30 Weller.
yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
still damn good.
People don't know that, especially if you can't find it.
No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're definitely looking for the name recognition on that. Elijah Craig, everybody knows that. Buffalo Trace, people know what Buffalo Trace is.
Mhm.
And all those are right in that range. Another one that I would consider, and it's not necessarily for the name recognition, it's the bottle itself. And it's what I'm drinking tonight, Angel's Envy, the regular Angel's Envy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not a hot pour. It's finished in those port wine casks, which
Yeah.
mellow it out considerably. It comes
It's
in,
true.
it's
It's a pretty bottle, you know.
very pretty bottle, and just that little package in and of itself
Mm-hmm.
would be highly receptive, I believe.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's a good pick. Yeah. All right, Chuck, sir. I don't know if this is going to be an easier or harder question for you because of your variety of experiences, but
Well, I would say I would go with something lower proof as well. My choices would be Blanton's because everybody has or knows Blanton's. I mean, it's
true.
It's got
Yep.
the horse topper. It's it's the bottle shape, the bag, the box. Everybody wants it. Well, not everybody,
No.
but
We're coming to
it's
that.
one of those highly sought after bottles.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the same thing would go for Eagle Rare
Yeah.
and Buffalo Trace, like Mark had mentioned. They're all decent, but it's name recognition with those. And another that I would go with is the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel.
Oh yeah.
It was an excellent bottle.
You're seeing that a lot more all over the place.
Excuse me. I keep forgetting about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to you, I got to try that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for that, by the way. But yeah, Elijah Craig toasted. Oh man, that was so
I keep
good.
forgetting about that. That was a damn good. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't forget that one. No.
It's
Anyway,
beautiful.
so do we have any other honorable mentions? I think before we move on, because I think these are good, like real good ideas that people can like go out to the store and buy. Like some of these are going to be easier than others, obviously, but if you're people with resources, getting a bottle of Blanton is not really going to be hard for you.
Right.
Versus the average mook down the street
Well,
Well,
I was
and-
telling
is not going to.
Actually, here's
This-
another one from the Heaven Hill family,
Okay.
and just the regular larceny.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's not a bad pour.
It's not a bad pour. You can generally find it. I think $40, $45 for a bottle. And it's fairly. That one is fairly available. At least I see it everywhere. It's almost.
I remember when
shows
larceny
PA.
was super cheap. I used to pick it up back in
Yeah,
it was
in
like
the 20s
$30.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also Four Roses, the standard, the
Yeah.
old, the
Their
old
single
yellow label.
barrel actually is a really nice little one. That it's not expensive. It comes in such a pretty bottle. It's not a bad pour.
Yeah.
That's another good pick.
Yeah.
Pirates are killing me right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, man.
It's all right.
Game, so.
Okay, so I have some ideas, folks. I definitely appreciate it. I'm not planning on going to a housewarming party anytime soon, but there's situations that are kind of like adjacent to that, where you go, what can I bring that is going to represent well, going to be something enjoyable, and someone will be kind of proud to own who doesn't really collect. You know?
Right.
Those are kind of like the main points to hit, and I think we covered that up pretty well. So on to, because Chuck kind of obliquely mentioned in terms of like finding and getting and hunting for things. And this Chuck is going to be more your topic, because for me, well, I don't really hunt anything anymore. But like, so for those of you who are looking for certain particular bottles who have been pining away maybe for a while at something and aren't anymore, like what has something turned your nose? Is there something else that's more attractive? Like, has the price gone up too much? Like, is it just too damn hard to find? What makes you give up on a hunt for something that you really wanted at some point, rather?
Should I go first?
Please go first. Maybe we'll give them
Okay.
something to follow off of.
All right. So my number one, well, I mean, they're not in order, is Midwinter Night's Dram.
Okay.
The price on that one is getting out of control. It's about $150. I think it was $179, $175 at the in where their distillery is, their gift shop, and that was last year. Now number 12 is coming out this year. I don't think I'm going to bother with it this year, even if I'll be offered it. I'm sure I'll probably turn it down for the first time. It's just not something that interests me anymore. For the price, I think you can do better, and you can do better by picking up a bottle of Sagamore Port Cask. It's $70 to $75, and you're just getting more bang for the buck, I think, out of it. Then Constellation's just stripped that name. The Midwinter Night's Dram is, and then the whole, all their other products as well, and just strip them down. They're giving you 4 to 6 year product finished, and who wants that for $150 to $75?
Right.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just the name at that point.
They're trying to get the name out of it until they can't sell it anymore.
Yeah, they're just wearing it out, and it's not doing. I mean, and they're making more product. I think they produced 141,000 bottles last year, when prior years it was like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000.
Jeez.
Now they've just
a huge jump.
The production of it. It's insane, and the
They're
price
just
is coming
faster and cheaper, and the price is
Yeah.
going up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And another one that not a big fan of anymore, and I know this is going to maybe ruffle some feathers, but Blood Oath. is another one. 96.4 proof, I think it is. It's the proof for me.
Too hard to get.
It's difficult to get, but the price, it keeps creeping up there. I think it was 149 SRP, and it just doesn't do it for me anymore. The past couple years have just been disappointing. I think it was after 7. It just started. Maybe 8 was good. 9 and 10.
I remember a lot of people speaking highly of 7. Yeah, but
yeah,
I've never
9 was
had it.
disappointing to me. I mean, I got a bottle. It's okay. It's drinkable, but it wasn't
8
or 7 or 6.
I enjoy my 8.
Yeah.
8's the one that was the apple brandy finished one, right?
I can't.
So really, the big thing for you is, whether it's the obvious thing is if it's gone up in price and down in quality, right? That's
you price yourself.
enough of a no-brainer. But just generally, like even if you disregard price for a second, if the latest releases are no longer as good as the ones prior, like Leaper's Fort Bottle and Bond. Remember, like years ago on the show, like Leaper, that's all anybody could talk about.
Right.
Jerry and me were, constantly Leaper's Fort, and then since then it's like, and we don't even talk about it anymore. So like,
Wow.
But on the other hand, the Yellowstone product for me it just doesn't do it for me. Yellowstone products just, I don't know, it's something about wet cardboard with some of their,
they're like, I've had their base line, and that's
their basic line is just wet cardboard for me, and I don't get anything out of it.
I bought one bottle once, and I don't think I would go back.
And that's going
not horrible, but like, for the money, you can find better things out there.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that it seems like a lot of these distillers and distributors do not take into account as well as they might.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah, and that goes for one that I'm going to bring up here. It's Bardstown. Their collaboration series. I think it started out with really good stuff at rather reasonable prices for what it is, but when they got the 4 square and above and beyond that, it's just nuts for what it is. And I'm just like, no, forget about it. And so, especially after the Origin series came out, hell with the collaboration stuff. I'm done with that. I don't need to pay your price point. Right. You're producing better at less than half of what you want me to buy your blended stuff there with.
That's interesting.
That's a good question.
Yeah, they have 2 collabs coming out very soon.
Yep. Nope.
It's just not good enough to you to justify the price, or
justify the price. I'm sorry. I can't see myself doing that because there is too much other that, in my opinion, is just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
And the hype that's going to flow around that collaboration.
Yeah, that's the main thing I think that really can disappoint me in a bottle is to know that I paid X for it, and for those dollars, I could have had something I would have ended up liking a lot better.
Yep.
The one I always think of is the bottle of Garrison Brothers that I picked up. It was like $80 or something like that. And
it's insanely expensive.
Recommended by a friend, and I'm like, I could have bought 2 $40 bottles or something that was probably pretty damn good. That's just the way my brain does that math. I was like, for this price, I could have gotten X value, but instead I got Y. And it's not that it's bad; it's just worth half the price, basically.
And it's like I said, their collaboration series, when they first started that stuff out, I mean, I loved The Prisoner when it came out. I thought that was very nice. And a few others back there. But it just got to be, I don't know whether I want to say jumping the shark, man, using that term, but they started resting on those previous laurels, and it just wasn't, the quality, in my opinion, wasn't meeting the price points.
Yeah.
No, I hear that.
They started at like 119, and now they're at 159.
No, when I bought that 4 square, that was approaching like $170.
Whoa!
The collaboration.
Yeah.
That's what I saw it for in Indiana. It was like
Yeah, buddy.
169,
Yeah.
And I'm
179.
like, that was the last one that I purchased.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because I
the
hear
last
that.
one
I hear
purchased.
Bardstown and Foursquare, and I go, ooh, and then you said the
Oh,
price. I
yeah.
go, oh no,
Oh, no.
It was a letdown.
That
Yeah,
really is
That's
a
a good
shame.
question. I actually don't. Well, I as of late, I've been buying more different things that I've had a chance to taste that I've liked. Um, I would probably have to go with Midwinters as well with Chuck, because the last two that I tried, I didn't even get a bottle of, and it was something held for me. I was like, didn't do it for me. Between a not better pricing and a not better taste, like, can one be good? You know,
Yeah.
if you're gonna up the price, then let's make it taste that much better.
Mhm.
And I'm generally not one. I don't generally associate price with taste, but if you're going to keep raising the price on something, then to me the taste should get better with it.
Mhm.
So
Bring the quality along with the price.
Or
Yeah,
it shouldn't, or the quality shouldn't go down.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, there's a supply and demand aspect of it, but for those of us who, or those of you who, well, those of us who, have a lot to fall back on and a lot of options and, a lot of other things, like, yeah, you want more value for your money if you're spending more money, not just, well, we can basically make you pay this extra from what you used to pay because we can, and that's what the market's doing. So, but no, I'm with Mark. Though, I get you something. Give me something else. Don't just offer the same thing at a much higher price and expect me to put up with it.
Yeah, I've kind of just resorted to, bottles I know, or distillers that I know, distilleries that I know, and their expressions. Like when Heaven Hill ventures out, I'm generally okay to try something Heaven Hill. I generally trust Heaven Hill. They start experimenting. As long as they don't get too crazy with the price, I'm okay with it. But I've been much more into just trying things that I haven't had before. I've kind of always been that way, but I think it's been more of a focus than running around chasing those same old bottles, because I just haven't had the time to do that anyway. So,
I think that has a lot to do with how I allocate funds for what I'm buying. Like, I've had Blanton's. It's a good drink, but especially here in PA, I'm not getting at line. I'm not getting up at 7:30 a.m. to be there when the store opens to get a bottle of Blanton's. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of time in my life.
Seriously.
It's just not worth it to me.
No.
And with the amount of traveling that I'm able to do, and with this new place I found in Fort Wayne was absolutely incredible. They had some barrel-proof liquors. It was fantastic.
Okay.
I know I'm getting back there at the end of the month. So
good.
But kind of like Mark is, that's how I'm going out and finding these things like this William Dalton I'm drinking tonight. I picked up the Free Ranch Farm to Grain.
Yeah.
Oh, you got.
I was able to get a store pick Stellum there.
Nice.
So, and I got the 24 New Riff winter release for this year. It was out when I was there.
What do you think of that, by the way?
The one I had a couple of years ago, I really, really enjoyed it because I'm a chocolate guy. I know that I think Chuck and I talked about it back when I tried it. And I know he's not necessarily he's not that overly chocolate guy, and this comes across, at least that particular release came across really super chocolate.
It was the winter release.
Yes, they distill it with the cocoa nibs, and so you're really getting.
Oh, okay. So you really are getting the.
You are
the
cocoa nibs and the chocolate malt, and you are getting a chocolate bomb in that.
I would imagine, like, if I was on like Christmas vacation with my family or something like that, that would be a bottle that I would probably want to enjoy and share.
And that's what I'll wait till the holidays when I do my annual Christmas thing with my friends and my family, and we'll crack that at, either on Christmas Eve or for our family dinner on Christmas Day. But yeah, I mean,
I feel
there's
that. I like that.
I'm not hunting, like I'm not necessarily hunting any of the SAS products. And by the way, Buffalo Trace is sitting on the shelf now in PA. So the boys are coming in the morning and getting the Eagle Rares and the Buffalo Traces, but they're not touching the Trace and they're not going as hard on the baby SAS.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sits on shelves.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just the little bottle of Sazerac, right? Is that? Am I missing something? Or is there something else to it that I'm not figuring
Just
out?
Sazerac.
It's the regular Sazerac versus the B-Tech Sazeracs. They call it the baby Saz. Yeah,
Gotcha,
Sazerac
gotcha.
brand.
Baby Saz. Okay. Good to know.
So
And that's what you're passing on primarily. Is it particular reasons just not worth the?
It's not worth the hunt.
Yeah.
It's not worth the hunt to me. I'll just go out and find new things, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what I do anymore as well, because like, you know, again, limited means in that, and like I've been very fortunate in my friends and much of their generosity when, you know, hang out and things like that. Gotten to try a lot of things. I have my own small collection, what have you. But like when I go out, I'm not looking for the thing that I've had 50 times before. I want to find the thing that I've never tried before. And I go, ooh, what is that? I want to have a new experience and find out if it's any good or not. Yeah, so that's more my leanings anyway, and if it's, you know, a little more budget friendly, that don't hurt either. So that's where I'm at. So in terms of like what do I like gave up on hunting, that would be kind of like everything, and it's really just a financial thing for me. But yeah, but I also, it definitely resonates that, you know, think the way they continue to charge more and more for the same product, or a product that's of diminished quality, that like maybe it had some good years previously and now it's not quite where it's at anymore. And like it's kind of like no one wants to recognize or talk about that, and they're all just going to keep charging on like it didn't happen. Like that's when I go, yeah, and there'll be enough people who get sucked up into that, or into the hype of the bottle or the name recognition or what have you, that they'll get, you know, functionally suckered by it. Like fine and good, that's the way the game is played, I guess. But like I don't want to participate in that. I have no need to. So yeah.
So David, you're telling me you're not rushing out to get the Weller Millennium at $79.99?
Yeah, no, I'm not. And by the way, you mean 7,999?
Yeah,
yeah, not 79.99. Like there's a millennium at the end of that. Move that decimal spot, you know. Move it over a little bit. Yeah, that's a comma, not a period. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's good. You know, I'm sure it's good juice.
Ain't something I'm ever gonna have.
It's good for somebody, not for me.
Also, you just going just Terry Bradshaw the whole thing. Just yeah, I bet that's some good juice right there. I bet that's pretty good. It's like $10,000 bottle or something or other. Just talking about it like it's not a big deal.
Hey, well, if I ever hit a Powerball, whenever I play, I'll get one and I'll let everyone try it. Shit. I'll fly everyone and we'll all try it. We'll all try it together.
There you go.
All right.
Quit my job for that. Let's go. But no, that would be a good time.
God, the Cubs are still batting. Jesus Christmas.
Are the Cubs good now? Like,
they're okay, but God, I think we're.
And they just took 3 or 4 from the Reds, man. What are they doing pity patting with the Cubs? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? And I was at the one game, like that Saturday night game where they got their asses kicked. Oh God, it's 11-2 right now.
Oh, 11-2.
Yeah. So the Saturday night game, I've gone the last.
What inning is it?
7th.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Ooh.
Find out. Rob was so upset he left.
They had another one. The next run knocked his internet out.
There it is.
Yeah, apparently. The ball. That's how close he is to the field. The ball took out the.
That's right.
Took out the transformer. Anyway, well, I hope he comes back.
I'm trying to think. I don't think there's really anything that I'm really hunting. There's stuff that I would like to buy. I'm just waiting for it to find it, so to speak. But there's nothing really that I'm actively hunting. I'm not that appeal. It doesn't appeal to me.
I'll tell you one thing. I will admit, if I do see it, that I would have to think real hard about if it was any of the more limited release or like single barrel of like Redwood Empire.
Oh yeah, those.
Some of those.
No-brainers.
That would probably get under my skin a little bit if I saw it and
Yeah,
be like, oh,
those are
man.
no brainers. But
I'm kind of a fanboy.
Pick that up as you find it. I mean, that's not something I'm actively going hunting store to store, region to region, looking for this bottle. It's
Right, but if I walked in, that would be hard to say no
on
to.
the shelf. It's coming home.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got one cast strength left, and it's the Emerald Giant cast strength. I forget what it's called.
The new Van Dusen is out now. Redwood Empire.
Is it? Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You were posting those pictures in the VIP chat.
Came out.
Like,
that's dropping. Yeah.
That I just go patiently wait for it to come in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it used to be, and it's funny too that what is it? High West, their stuff, used to be, everybody used to go nuts over the High West stuff. You had the campfire, you had the Borai, you had the one with the cowboy and the horse.
Rendezvous.
Yeah, there was Rendezvous Rye, Double Rye,
Yeah.
and then the cowboy and the horse. Everybody, yippee-ki-yay!
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it seems like everything shifted to Redwood Empire.
Somebody, I thought I was reading someplace something about High West where they were working through all their original stock, and now they were moving into some of their newer stock, newer barrels, and it wasn't as good as it used to be. I think
they were sourcing before.
Yeah, that Ball and Bond Rye is pretty damn good though. That's
High West.
Good. Yeah.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, I don't know if I still don't know if it's on shelves yet across the country. I was lucky because I have.
Where are they out of?
Oh, Utah.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of my guys, he actually comes in to Fine Ash all the time. He watches the show on occasion. So he works in Arizona usually a couple weeks a month. We kind of gotten cool, and so anything in High West, he'll hit me and say, "Dude, you want it?" And it's like thumbs up, thumbs down. So, but he hit me and said that he had that Ball and Bond Rye. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll definitely try that. It was really good." Yeah, I'll definitely give props.
You know what that goes for?
I'm sorry.
Any idea what it goes for?
I'm not exactly sure. I gave him 100. I think it was probably a little bit more.
Okay.
That's a good question, though.
Oh, one for you guys to try, and that's one that I put in the chat the other day. It's that Frank August, that winter cover wheat or winter cover rye. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the new.
You see it on the shelf. Yeah, that's delicious. Does not drink like a rye. Does not drink to its proof. It's a very dangerous bottle, and it's quite delicious.
I'll keep an eye out for that.
Yep, it's worth it.
It's a limited release, so it's going to be difficult to find.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw some Frank August on the shelf when I was in Indiana. So maybe when I go back, I'll see what they got.
Pretty good.
Bottles look pretty similar. Look at the collar at the top, and you'll see it. And it's just like a special little collar they put on there. It says winter cover rye.
So not only do we know what not to hunt, we know what to hunt. That's good. That's good.
That one, yeah. If you see that one, like I said, it does not drink like a rye at all. I get very little of the baking spices in there at all. But
Interesting.
It's very delicious. Very caramel vanilla forward. I get Chuck mentioned. I was thinking a different brand of bubble gum at the time. And Chuck comes out with the Big League Chew, and I said, "Bam, that's it."
Oh yeah, okay. I remember all that.
You get down on the palate. And it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. Matter of fact, the bottle had to be put away.
That sounds like that sounds like that Kazuba.
Gone.
That sounds like the Kazuba High Wheat Rye. Love that bottle.
That Kazuba's pretty. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That red bottle.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
damn good one.
Whatever one you send me is gone. I know that.
That was it. Yeah.
It didn't hang around real long.
I was actually we're going to go to Tampa this weekend. As I mentioned, I'm not going now. Going back to DC. I mean, going in DC, going back to AZ. I am still thinking of going down to Tampa the following weekend. The Commanders are playing the Bucks, so I doubt it, but I'm thinking about it. If I go, I'm going to figure out a way to bring a couple of bottles of Gazuba home. I didn't want to check a bag, but I just might if I do.
Yeah.
Because that's
Do you?
Gino. It's like it's 50. If I remember correctly, and I'm looking at it, not looking at it. I think it's 51 rye, 49 wheat.
Ooh.
Wow.
It is the oddest mash bill, but damn, it's a damn good bottle.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mark, I got to ask you a question. When you travel like that and you find bottles that you're trying to bring home with you, is it your normal to check a bag and put them in the bag versus like mail them to yourself?
So over the last year, I always travel with I have a folded up duffel bag that goes into my main suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
So over the last year, I have not purchased as many, like you guys go back, like when we first started the show, my suitcase would have bottles, my duffel bag would have bottles, and I would often have to mail myself some bottles. I don't know if you all remember one time, I think I was flying one of the nights we were doing a show. I was flying and I had to, I checked my suitcases in.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran to FedEx. I think I ran to FedEx. I think I was shipping Chuck something, and I think I shipped Rob a bottle.
Was that from the Moonshine Company?
No.
This was probably before that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think
before that.
Okay.
I can't remember, but I know I had to go to FedEx and drop a few bottles off. I shipped myself one, and I think I sent Rob one. I think I sent Chuck something. So it's like I put 3 boxes in FedEx, and then I had two suitcases full of bottles. So I haven't done that in a couple years. But
have you ever had anything broken?
The only time I've had a bottle, excuse me, I'm sorry.
I'm getting at something here, which is why I'm asking.
No, I got you. So the last time we went to Trinidad, my cousin's wife, he married up. Her family owns a winery up in the hills in Trinidad, and so I'm sure you all have heard of Sorel. Have you ever heard of Sorel? Let me ask you that. If you've not, Sorel.
Sorel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have not. But
Okay. Think of it as a nature's fruit punch, if you will.
okay.
And
Sorrel. Okay.
Sorrel,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah.
Sorrel. Okay.
So I had a bottle that she gave me, and because it came from her and the family owns a winery, I didn't double check the bottle. So I put the damn thing in the suitcase, and when my suitcase got back to Arizona,
Customs took it.
my suitcase was red.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Everything was red inside of it. So that was the last time. But since then, something to me, no. I had one bottle that I sent to my dad popped. I can't remember what it was, but something did pop when it got to him. I think that may have been more about heat because I tried to send it at a certain time, but this was one of those days when I was ducking the FedEx Nazi.
Yeah.
And so she did. Yeah, so she didn't get to it.
She still won.
There. Yeah, and so she had a kid. The kid put the incorrect labeling on it, so it didn't go out that day. Because if I ship bottles between if I ship between say May and September, I always go in right about 4:30 because I want to get on the 5 o'clock truck.
Getting on that last truck going up.
Yeah, because it's cooler.
Yeah.
But the kid used the wrong thing, so it didn't go out. It went on the morning truck.
So it went all day then, basically.
So it sat all day on the truck before it started moving, and it was in Arizona's heat.
Yeah.
But
that's
other than that, no, I haven't had anything break. That was it for me.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I bring it up because I've told you guys before that I worked for TSA for a couple of years back in like, what was that, 2006, 2008, something like that, somewhere around that time frame. The amount of broken bottles of alcohol that I encountered working at Dulles Airport, like not in okay. So there's two phases of this. One is just, you know, when you put your baggage on the thing and it goes down the chute or whatever to go down to like the checked baggage area. The process of it going down there, like highly likely to damage, because like I'd be pulling a bag off to scan it, and like it already just, you can just smell, you smell like you're at a winery, like already. It's like you're just inundated, and I'm like, sucks for them, but this is actually really nice. Like it smells great. Like, but it just just soak, the whole bag is just soaked through with wine, because just in the process of going down the chute, the bottle shattered because from the force. Because I guess people don't take into account like how much trauma these bags go through.
Yeah.
So there's that phase, and I don't know how it is now because it's been many years. Like I said, 2008 is the last time I worked for TSA. We acted like a bunch of fucking animals. Like when we got into people's bags, I kid you not, like we all should have been fired at one point or another for the way we behaved. Like every single one of us, we acted like fucking animals going into people's bags. Oh, you know, there's some stuff we had every right to do. Like, oh, you've locked your bag, we have to get into it. We're going to cut the lock. Like that's the way that game is played. You have the TSA lock. But hey, if we don't have a key, and some of us didn't, we still have to cut the lock. So you'd still get your bag back. Being like, what the hell just happened here? Like, we didn't have the key for the lock, even though you bought a lock designed to be opened by us. Like, we still can't do it, so we had to cut the lock. So there's stuff like that. But like, the way we would go through people's shit, like, you know, everything's meticulously packed, and you know, the bubble wrap says like a bottle or something like that, and that's the thing that alarmed. And we've had to dig through like 18 layers of whatever to get to it. Like we're already in a bad mood. Steven, fucking Patriot Act. Hey man, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. Yeah, I'm gonna star that one. You ain't kidding, Steven. But and we would go in there, you know, and I've joked before, you could find people's, you know, their porno magazines and their sex toys and stuff like that. They try to hide in the bottom of the bag, put that shit at the top. But like just a general disregard for other people's property that did regular screeners. And before anyone's disparaged TSA, all the guys that I used to work with, they were all military veterans. They're all a bunch of roughnecks. They're all crude as hell. Like, and they're getting into people's bags and their skivvies and their alcohol and everything like that. And then, you know, we all just,
weren't they?
Yeah, we just acted like fucking animals about stuff. We did.
Right.
And yeah, and so you know, we would the bag and tape it back up. And sometimes we couldn't, you know, get it closed properly. We're just wrapping it in TSA labeled duct tape, just wrapping the whole fucking bag like a Christmas present. And we take that bag and we would shot put it back onto the carousel to get picked up and, you know, taken on a tug onto the plane. Like, just savaged the bag. Like,
even if you
the whole idea of like protecting your property inside, like your property. So like to me, the idea of like finding some highly prized bottle and wrapping it up to be screened by a TSA screener, I would never personally, because I know what I did and I know what all the guys that I used to work with did. Like, there's no way. There is no, and again, maybe it's all different now. Maybe, you know, that era of travesty has passed us, because this is still like in the earlier days, you know, of TSA past 9/11 and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can.
And it was kind of like the Wild West out there. It really still was.
You can still see the videos on YouTube of not and probably not so much the TSA guys, because that shit all happens back inside the building. But the baggage handlers are the guys who are loading planes and
those are the guys that will steal shit from you. TSA. That's one thing I'll say, that we were rude as hell with people's property, but none of us were thieves except one guy. He actually made it in the newspaper. He was stealing like Nintendo Wii's out of people's bag and reselling them. Trying to sell me one. I'm glad I never bought one. But it's the baggage handlers. They would watch us scan the bags. Oh, there's a laptop. Oh, there's, you know, some expensive jewelry, a watch, you know, whatever. Right? They would spy us out as we were going through these bags, and we came around the carousel. They'd pull it off and rob that shit out of the bag and put it back on. And then, you know, we would get pulled for a polygraph to determine whether or not, you know, we actually took anything out of a bag. Like, it got all serious and shit for a couple people. It never happened to me, but like, yeah, it was intense. But yeah, the baggage handlers are going to be the ones who steal your shit, but we were going to be the ones that break your shit. So
there was a video of some golfer, semi-pro kind of a guy.
Sure. And
he had $4,000 worth of clubs in his nice big club case They had it set funky. They put it on put it on there. It fell off the cart. They ran over it twice with their truck going.
Oh my God.
Destroyed this guy's clubs. It's like he was going to a tournament to play.
Wow.
Destroyed his clubs, and you could just see him. He's just in the window of the waiting at the gate, just freaking the fuck out.
I hear that, and also Steven's comment here. So with this video saved now, they're gonna have a hard time messing with me. Oh, they'll still mess with you. You'll just know that they're full of shit. That's what's gonna happen, because I knew some of the, truthfully, I work with some really amazing people who have gone on to have really good careers and stuff like that. But I mean, a lot of those dudes, they were just the level of disrespect for other people's property was just
fear factor was not there.
Yeah, it was incredible, and it's because of like a lot of the nonsense that you have to deal with as part of the job. That like you want an outlet for it, and is what it is, as they say.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
I typically travel with a Pelican case.
That does help.
Pelican air case with the plug and pull foam, so you can pull the foam out and size it correctly, and then put the bottles in. But I usually carry an oversized Pelican case, so I can keep what I need in it over here, but then also carry bottles
to keep it protected
if I need to. And then another thing to do is, if you're carrying it in your stored luggage or your stowed luggage, get those inflatable wine bags that you have the little hand pump and pump them up, and stuff them in those.
I've not seen that, but yeah, anything that's going to create a level of cushion, because I'll tell you this, because they have to come in, they're going to have to at least visually inspect the bottle, which means whatever bubble wrap and everything else that you've got around it, they're going to cut that off.
Yeah.
And if they're nice, they'll tape it back on. But even when they do, it's not going to be as good as when you did it. Like so be aware of that. Make whatever is going to get searched, and a bottle will call for that typically, at least to be visually inspected. Like, make sure it's accessible to them, because if they got to dig through 1,000 things to get to it, they're going to be in a bad mood by the time they get there, and you don't want them to be in a bad mood.
I don't tape mine over when in those inflatable bags. I just put them in the bag.
That sounds like the way to go.
And lay the
just
top
fold it over,
and that's it. Yeah, and put it in my luggage.
That seems like the right way to do it. But I would be terrified personally, because if I found something that I really wanted to not get damaged, like really above all not get damaged, I would be mailing that to myself. So that's interesting, because I know you're a frequent flyer, and that you travel all the time. You pick up bottles all the time when you travel. So, and you as well, check like the strategies involved. Like, we could do a whole other like topic night just on that shit.
Oh, for sure, sure.
Absolutely.
I tell you, the other thing I do with my bags is, depending on again where I travel. So I'll go dirty clothes, bottles inside of the dirty clothes, in probably my laundry bag, or depending on how I'm packed. But they'll go inside of something, and then those will go inside of a towel. And on the outside of the towel will be more loose, dirty clothes. So if you want to go through my dirty clothes, then go through the towel, then go through more dirty clothes, have at it.
They will. Trust me.
They will.
Will not be deterred, because
I have not in mind yet, and I don't want to jinx myself.
No.
For me, to this day, they have not.
That's wild.
Did you put your skivvies on top?
Yep.
Okay, that's why.
Yep. No skid mark.
They ain't touching skivvies with skid marks.
In my day, we still would have had to go. I mean, they wear gloves and stuff, and like, trust me, your dirty clothes, like, that doesn't even rate in the top 100 of nasty shit.
In my dirty clothes,
not even top 100.
Clothes rate really high in the scheme of dirty clothes, but
yeah, I'm sure, but like, I have seen some things, gentlemen.
Some things.
And that was just with 2 years in. I can't imagine anyone's been doing it for a while. But anyway, guys, we are actually past an hour here, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out the live show. This was fun. I enjoyed our talk. We actually ended up having 3 topics, kind of, but I want to revisit this one and kind of do it more formally, talking about travel tips when you're buying bourbon. or
There you go.
buying bottles. But yeah, we'll do that. Hell, maybe we'll do it next week. Now, guys, we're not going to be here next week because of the holiday, so we will see you week after next. We're all going to take a break. I'm actually off work, so I'm going to hopefully do nothing. Is really what I want to do. That's what I want to do with my holidays. Do nothing at all. It sounds wonderful. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys who were here in the comments. Stephen and David as well. Hey, David.
Hey, Dave.
Night,
There
David.
he is. So telling us good night. Well, thank you guys for watching and commenting. I do certainly enjoy reading those comments. But guys, it was good seeing everyone. I know I was tired and drug out today, but like I just wanted to have a drink with my buddies. So like I got to do that.
Yep.
So thank you guys for being here for that. And yeah,
For hosting, my brother.
absolutely. I'm happy to be here. Happy to do it. So for everyone, have a good night. We will see you week after next.
Cheers,
Like
y'all.
you know
Be
each
good to
other.
yourselves.
And that's right.
Yep.
Be good to yourselves.
Salam
brothers.
Jabbar.
Salam Java.